She turns people to stone. That's the part everyone remembers. Nobody asks what happened to her first. In the next 10 minutes, you're going to learn 3 things about Medusa that the movies have never told you. You're going to learn why 2 ancient poets told her story completely differently, and what that difference reveals. You're going to get the one survival rule buried inside this myth. And at the end, you're going to have to make a decision. Was she a monster? Or was she the most wronged figure in all of mythology? Stay with me. Here is the first thing you need to understand. There is no single Medusa. There are at least 2. And they contradict each other almost entirely. The oldest version comes from Hesiod, writing around 700 BCE. In his account, Medusa was always a monster, born that way. One of 3 Gorgon sisters, Stheno, Euryale, and Medusa, creatures of terror from the beginning. Her sisters were immortal. Medusa alone was mortal, which is why she could be killed. That's Hesiod's version. Ancient, brutal, no backstory, just monster. Then comes Ovid. Writing 7 centuries later in his Metamorphoses, Ovid tells a different story entirely. In his version, Medusa was not born a monster. She was a priestess, mortal, and, in Ovid's words, remarkably beautiful, particularly her hair. She served in the temple of Athena, goddess of wisdom and warfare. Poseidon, god of the sea, wanted her. And in the world of Greek mythology, gods who wanted things simply took them. He assaulted Medusa inside Athena's own temple, a sacred space, the house of a goddess, violated. Now, what would you expect Athena to do? She punished Medusa, not Poseidon. Medusa. Athena transformed Medusa's beautiful hair into writhing serpents. She made her gaze lethal. Anyone who looked directly into her eyes would turn to stone. She drove her out, exiled, to the edge of the world, to a cave at the end of the earth, near the land of the dead. The punishment was not for what Medusa did. It was for what was done to her. Survival rule. Never look directly at what you fear. Perseus defeated Medusa using a mirrored shield. He studied her reflection, never her face. The lesson is ancient. Direct confrontation with the thing that can destroy you is rarely the right move. Distance, reflection, and a different angle. That is how you survive. This is what the heroic version of the story always skips. Perseus did not wake up one morning and decide to hunt Medusa. He was manipulated into it. King Polydectes of Seriphos wanted Perseus's mother, Danae, for himself. Perseus was in the way, so Polydectes engineered a situation. A feast, social pressure, a boast Perseus couldn't take back. And when the dust settled, Perseus had publicly promised to bring him the head of Medusa. The expectation was that Perseus would die trying. Polydectes would get what he wanted. Athena and Hermes came to Perseus with tools, a mirrored shield, polished to a perfect reflection, winged sandals from Hermes so he could fly, a sickle blade, curved and sharp, and directions to find the Graeae, 3 ancient sisters who shared one eye between them, who alone knew where Medusa was hiding. Perseus found the Graeae, stole their shared eye mid-pass, and refused to return it until they told him what he needed. Then he flew to the far edge of the world, to the cave. Perseus found Medusa sleeping. He never looked at her directly, only at her reflection in the shield. He approached. He raised the blade. He cut off her head in a single stroke. He placed it in a bag, a kibisis, without looking at it. And he ran. Her immortal sisters, Stheno and Euryale, woke at the sound and pursued him across the sky. He escaped by using Hades's cap of invisibility. But here is the detail that almost never makes it into the movies. When Medusa died, when her head was severed, two beings burst from her neck: Pegasus, the winged horse, and Chrysaor, a giant warrior with a golden sword. Children of Poseidon's assault, finally freed at the moment of her death. She never knew them. She was already gone. Medusa did not choose her transformation. She did not choose her lethal gaze. She was punished by a goddess with the power to punish anyone. And she was punished for surviving something done to her. Every culture that inherited this story passed it on as, "Here is a monster, beware!" Almost none of them stopped to ask, who made her this way? And who benefited from everyone being too afraid to ask? After her death, the story of Medusa did not end. Perseus used her severed head as a weapon for years. He turned the Titan Atlas to stone with it when Atlas refused him hospitality. He used it to rescue Andromeda from a sea monster. He turned Polydectes, the king who had sent him on a suicide mission, to stone in front of his own court. The head of a dead woman, used as a weapon, again and again, long after she had any say in the matter. Eventually, Athena took Medusa's head and mounted it on her own aegis, her divine shield or breastplate. The image became known as the Gorgoneion. It was carved into temples, stamped onto coins, painted onto shields, hung above doorways. The most feared face in the ancient world was used as a protective charm. The woman who had been desecrated, transformed, hunted, and killed was now being deployed to protect the very institutions that destroyed her. Psychologists have written about Medusa as a symbol of the petrifying gaze. The thing you cannot look at directly. Trauma works this way. Grief works this way. Certain truths work this way. You cannot confront them head-on and survive intact. You need the mirror. The indirect approach, the ability to look at the reflection of the thing rather than the thing itself. Perseus's method wasn't cowardice. It was the only way to survive contact with something that would otherwise destroy you. And that is what Medusa teaches. Not how to kill a monster, but how to approach the things that can kill you. In 1545, sculptor Benvenuto Cellini created one of the most famous statues in Florence. Perseus, triumphant, holding Medusa's severed head aloft, her decapitated body beneath his feet. It stood in the Piazza della Signoria for nearly 500 years. Heroism, conquest, the monster defeated. In 2008, sculptor Luciano Garbati made a response. Medusa, standing upright, calm, holding the severed head of Perseus. Same pose, reversed roles. In 2020, a cast of that statue was installed in New York City, directly across the street from the courthouse where Harvey Weinstein was on trial. 2,500 years after Ovid wrote her story, the image of Medusa was being reclaimed, not as a monster, as something else. In Percy Jackson, she's an obstacle, a puzzle boss, something to outsmart on the way to the real story. In God of War, she's a boss encounter, one of many mythological creatures reduced to a health bar. In Clash of the Titans, both the 1981 original and the 2010 remake, she's a creature of pure horror, something to destroy. Almost nowhere in popular culture does anyone stop and ask the question Ovid asked. Who was she before this? What was done to her? Who decided she was the monster? And what did they get out of that story? So here is the verdict. Was Medusa a monster? Or was she the most wronged figure in all of mythology? Vote 1 in the comments if you think she's a monster. Vote 2 if you think she was a victim. I read every single one. And the survival rule. The one thing I want you to carry out of this episode. Final rule: never look directly at what you fear. Use a reflection, a different angle, distance and clarity. That's how Perseus survived. That's how you survive too. Next week, we open a new case file. A monster that doesn't come from outside your community. It comes from inside it. And your neighbors know who it is. Monster Verdict. New case every Thursday.